Maybe. Nope. Twitter hates me.
Yeah,
Twitter
Twitter
just
always
hates
does.
me. I know. It's okay, Twitter. I don't like you either. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Picks and Parlay, Net Picks and Chill edition, episode number 7. I can't believe we made it this far. Craig hasn't pulled us off the air yet, so we're going to keep rocking.
Yeah.
I am Detroit Lenny. That is Nick Earl. How are you guys doing? This is Net Picks and Chill. So just give you guys just a general rundown of what we do here. We talk the NHL, if you haven't picked up on that, by the big shiny object in the middle of us. It's called the Stanley Cup. It's over there.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's just glorious. That's the word I use to describe the Stanley Cup. Glorious. Also, we're going to talk a bunch of NHL. You guys are going to hit the like button. Any questions about games going on now or tomorrow, throw it in the chat. I'd be more than happy to talk NHL with you. But Mr. Nick Earl, expert handicapper over at Picks and Parlays, NHL God. No, I'm just exaggerating now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy
Stop
there.
it. Stop it. Yeah. How you doing? How's it going for you and your NHL stuff going on tonight? What do you got going on?
Tonight feels like a no sweat type of night when it comes to the NHL. It's either my teams are winning by at least 3 goals or losing by at least 3 goals.
That's fair.
And unfortunately, more are losing by 3 goals than winning by 3 goals. I have Nashville puck line plus 160 though. They're up 3-0 at the end of the first period against Columbus. But on the other side of that, I got Tampa Bay. I have St. Louis, who's down 3-0 at the end of the first. And I got the Devils, who for some reason they get their best player back and they decide, let's lay an egg tonight. They're down 4-0 right now, so not exactly what I was hoping for there. But it is what it is.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm going to give you guys some rundown of all the NHL games going on real quick, live updates. Capitals over the Panthers, end of 2, 4-1. Sharks, Devils, 4-0. I've mentioned that. They're just started the third. They're into the third now. Tampa's up 3-0. Just started the second. Predators 3-0 into the first. Coyotes and the Wild tied 1-1 at the end of 1. That's crazy. Stars are up over the Hurricanes 1-0, about halfway into the first. Islanders, Flyers postponed, and the Ducks and the Kings are later on tonight. Shoo-wee! It's some crazy stuff going on here. So tonight we're going to talk, though, a little bit about some contenders and maybe possibly some pretenders. We're about a quarter of the way through the season, depending on the team. Everybody plays at their different pace. Some teams have played 22, 23 games. Some have only played 17 or 18 games so far. So we're about a quarter of the way through the season, though. So now is when we were really... I think Thanksgiving's that Mark you mentioned prior to the show. We were backstage talking about this. Thanksgiving Day, about that time of the year, is about where you can really kind of start to judge the persona of a team, like where they're trying to head. If they're just not getting it together, or they're just on the cusp of getting it together. So, contenders and pretenders is what we're going to talk about. This is what we're going to call this segment, and. How you want to do it? You want to talk about the first contender you got lined up here? You just want to go right into it?
Sure. Let's go right into it.
Let's jump right into it here. Contender number 1, the Washington Capitals. Capitals, 22 games played. They're 14-3-5, 33 points on the board, which is really good. What's your thoughts on them?
For me, they've been a money-making team for me so far this year, and they were 100% contenders. I was very iffy on this team coming into the season, and I've been riding them as of late. And yeah, they were, because it's a tough division. But currently they lead the Metro, and currently they're up 4-1 at the end of 2 periods with the Florida Panthers. So this is a team that's continuing to score goals, and it also helps when you have the great 8. Playing like an MVP. He's probably my vote for the MVP right now, Alexander Ovechkin. And
best player on the ice, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is this Capitals team is only going to get better. They're still without Backstrom. They're still without Ehlers. They're out without a couple of players. And one big player that has stepped up this season is Ilya Samsonov. their goalie, who is 9-0-1 this year with a 227 save goals allowed average. And I'm trying to find the save percentage. It's not saying here, but he's looked phenomenal this season.
Okay.
So that's definitely helps as well when you have great goaltending. And that's exactly what the Washington Capitals have been getting this year. They are one of those grinded out type of teams. They are currently 5th in the NHL with 3.55 goals scored per game. They're currently 4th in the NHL, only allowing 2.36. So this team is proving that they are a contender this year. And
awesome.
I think that they are a team that I'm definitely going to like come playoff time.
I love the fact that right now, here we are. I mean, you got to realize 82 games in NHL season. This team has played 22. 60 games left. I mean, even in my Detroit public school math, I can figure that out. 60 games left. And this is a team we all should be following. Depending on their matchups, I mean, they're possibly one of their toughest games they've had all year tonight against the Florida Panthers, and they are crushing them. Florida, I mean, they should be. They coming into the season, the Florida Panthers were contenders.
Yeah, they were one of my top 5 teams to win the Stanley Cup.
Exactly. Now, how you feeling about the Panthers?
I didn't have the Panthers typed up right here, but the Panthers would be a question mark for me. Ever since Joel Quenneville has resigned, he was forced to resign. I'm not getting into all that. They've definitely declined. They've been about a 500 team since. They just came off of an awful loss against the Seattle Kraken, which Seattle Kraken probably should have been a team I'd thrown up here as well as a big question mark because we don't know yet. But yeah, the Panthers are going to struggle until they get what my preseason pick to win the MVP was, which he's not going to because he's been hurt now, with Alexander Barkov. He's someone that he's proving what type of MVP he should be, the captain of the Florida Panthers, where they're struggling without him.
Yeah, he's you can really tell how somebody can really hurt a team. When a good teams, it's a next man up mentality. But when you rely too much on just one line, hockey, there's 4 different lines coming out.
Yep.
And then for those of you guys that don't know what we're talking about, like a line or whatever, you got a center and you got 2 wingers. They're your forwards, all your left wing, right wing. And then you got the guy in the center. 2 defensive guys in the background. They switch out like a defenseman are like they're on their own like rotation. They got their own thing going on.
There's 3 defense pairings and 4 lines of forwards.
Exactly. So you have those 4 lines, but a lot of teams, here's teams that win the Stanley Cup, they're deep. We talk about depth and bench and stuff like that. It's not just their first line. Everybody's first line is really good. That's why they're on the first line. I mean, well, not everybody's. Most teams, okay, that are contending.
You could be Buffalo, so.
Yeah, you could be Buffalo, so there's that. But their first, kind of like when you get into the playoffs, a lot of the teams, like their first lines will kind of wash each other out. Maybe even their first 2. You win your cup on your 3rd, 4th line. Those guys that you don't really get a lot of production. Yeah, you don't get a lot of production out of them. That's where we're talking about. That's where you get your points from and when it comes playoff time. But we got a long way to go for them. Let's talk about our first pretender.
Yes.
Ooh.
And
the Winnipeg Jets.
This is a team that I was high on coming into the season. And they are on a tailspin right now. They have lost 6 of their last 7 games. Not to mention they lost a home game against the Arizona Coyotes as minus 315 favorites. That's not going to get the job done. No. We look at one player that I was expecting to be good this year, and plain simply, he's been okay. He's not been carry the Jets to the playoffs level. And I'm talking about Connor Hellebuck, their goalie here. 7-6-2, 260 save percentage, or 260 goals allowed average, 918 save percentage. Not bad stats, but he's not the Vezina Trophy caliber goalie that I projected him to be in the beginning of the season.
Fair enough.
And that's what I think has to come down to. If the Jets are going to compete, Connor Hellebuck has got to stand on his head and carry this team to the playoffs, because this is a team that's struggling to score goals. They're 23rd in the NHL, 2.68 goals scored per game. And this is a team that I just don't trust right now when it comes to Winnipeg.
I can't get behind them right now until they get a little bit of a streak behind them.
Yeah, they need to start winning before I can get back behind them again. This is a team that's been struggling to score. This is a team that's struggling to win, and this is a team I was high on at the beginning of the season, and I was wrong about them. So Winnipeg is a pretender, I think, at this moment.
Fair enough. But Boston just scored against the Wings. So it's tied 1-1. So everybody hates me. Let's go into the next contender, pretender for the week. Contender, Calgary Flames.
Yeah, we go from one team, one Canadian team that I really liked in the beginning of the season to another Canadian team I really liked in the beginning of the season. I gave out Calgary to win the division, to win the
which
West,
they are,
and to win the Stanley Cup. I gave those out on I gave those out on futures, and that was just because I liked the value on this team. This team has the depth. This team has the talent to be super competitive, and they have proved it so far this season. I mean, they extended Johnny Gaudreau, who's looked awesome so far this season. I'm getting up some, yeah, and
Speaking while you pull that up of that division, I'm just gonna run down some teams in that division to give you guys an idea of how competitive that division is. Calgary, 31 points so far this season. Second place, the Oilers, very young team, 30 points this season. Anaheim, 25. Vegas Golden Knights, 24. They should be contending for the cup people were talking about. They're in fourth place. San Jose, 23 points. Then there's the Kings, the Kraken, and the Canucks, whatever. But that's a tough division with the Golden Knights, the Oilers, the Ducks, the Flames. Any one of those, I mean, and Calgary is starting to just dominate.
Yeah, and the scary thing about Calgary is where they're dominating is not in Calgary. It's on the road.
They're on the road. They're a better road team.
The Flames have been on fire. No, but this team is running out four solid lines. I mean, that top line with Gaudreau, Lindholm, and Tkachuk look great. One of the more underrated players that's not being talked about enough is Andrew Mangiapane on that second line, who has been absolutely phenomenal this season with Backlund and Coleman on that line. Coleman, great addition. We were talking about depth with the Tampa Bay Lightning earlier. He was part of that really good third line that won back-to-back cups. Right. Then you have Sean Monahan centering your third line. That's some depth right there. Tyler Pitlick and Dylan Dubé.
Fair
and you have an experienced player in Milan Lucic on your fourth line. And not to mention, the most important thing about anything on this Calgary team right now is they have, in my opinion, the Vezina Trophy winner right now, and Jacob Markstrom, who has been absolutely fantastic this season. And it shows. Goals allowed per game, Calgary ranks number one in the NHL at 1.95. They have been a shutdown team. You don't score much against this guy. And it's because of Jacob Markstrom playing the way he's playing. He's been phenomenal this season. Flames, they're a contender. Keep an eye on them. I like them to win the Stanley Cup in the beginning of the season. I'll stand right behind that. They're one of my picks to at least make a deep playoff run in the Western Conference.
You know, I mean, here's the thing. Some people can get really in-depth in hockey and this and that, but so, you know, I'm one of those guys where I don't want to overthink it. If you have a really good goalie, you have a really good team.
You can get hot and you can
if you don't have a good goalie, you don't have a good team. Let's not overcomplicate it. Calgary's goalie right now is playing really well. And then when he gets even hotter, when that does happen, because he's that type of goalie, he's an automatic follow like kind of guy. Like, to give you an idea, Calgary 9-2-2 on the road. 9-2-2. Okay, at home 4-2-3. So when they're on the road, most likely in a lot of these matchups, they might be a close, maybe an underdog, or in some situations, you might be able to catch them in some plus money scenarios.
You're not getting much plus money with the Flames these days.
Not much, but you can get low -115, -120 money lines. You know, stuff like that, especially because they're on the road. And until this kind of catches up to them, I think the market will catch up to them anyway.
Yes.
Next pretender, possible. This breaks your heart. I know. It just does. It just does. I know you got a Devils jersey on right now though, so that's not working out for you because they're getting crushed tonight.
Hey, they just scored 4-1 now.
Oh, come back.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't know about
Islanders Pretender ? I put a question mark on this one because they haven't had their complete team healthy this year at all. And
Fair.
Not actually, my bad. They have had it for like the beginning of the season, but you got to also keep in mind this team started with 13 games on the road. And they've had a rough schedule. They get home and they get crushed by COVID. And finally, they suspended this team for a couple games, postponing.
They needed a timeout.
So, I mean, yeah, I kept saying at one point, like the day before, it was like it felt like the Bridgeport Islanders because it was half an AHL team. When you have Hutton and Sebastian Aho, not the Carolina Sebastian Aho, a different one, and you have Salo playing defense, and like, you're calling up Richard Panik from the AHL. This was a rough-looking Islanders team for those couple games that they were finally in front of their home crowd. And they're getting crushed in these games because they don't have their actual team.
They played 4 games at home, and they are 0-4-0 at home.
Yeah,
I think they needed the COVID break.
Yeah,
exactly. They needed that. They needed the NHL to step in and go, okay, you guys.
Enough is enough. The NHL failed the Islanders in this. They should have had their season suspended 2 games before they actually did.
And I don't know who is in charge of the scheduling, but to start off a season like that with that many road games.
There's a reason behind that one, though.
Is there?
UBS Arena wasn't 100% ready yet.
Okay, I didn't know that. There you go. I was going to say, fire that scheduling guy because that thing sucks, man. That was just hard. But this Contender, you should be excited a little bit about this. The Rangers, right? Are we Rangers fans?
Fun team.
They are a fun team to watch.
I am not a Rangers fan. I'm an Islanders fan. So that should tell you everything you need to know about the way I did my evaluations here. And it was very difficult for me to put this team the way I did here, but they are a contender. The New York Rangers have been fantastic this year. And, I mean, you have one of the top players for defensemen in Adam Fox. You got one of the highest goal scorers in the league with Mika Zibanejad and Chris Kreider. And then your second line has a Denny Panarin in there. Your third line has Alexis Lafreniere, which was a number 1 pick from a couple years ago. Not to mention, similar to Calgary, they have a top 5 goalie in this league this season with Igor Shesterkin, who has looked absolutely fantastic to start the year. So yes, I love the Rangers right now. I love Shesterkin. And as long as he's good, this Rangers team can be good as well.
Oh, this Red Wing game is killing me. Let me jump over to the chat before you give out tomorrow's game here. To our number 1 fan here, I'm just going to run through his chats real quick. He says good morning. Even it's probably morning for you guys though. Well, no, it's only like 9 something your guys' time. He's Emerald. Buffalo for the cup.
No,
and
he's saying Buffalo contender. No.
Oh, Buffalo contender, and the Jets stink. That's fair. They do suck. Both the New York football
Winnipeg
Jets,
and New York.
Yeah, and the Winnipeg Jets as well. This game is tomorrow. Philadelphia Flyers at the New York Rangers. Rangers pretty heavy favorite here, minus 180. Over-under on this game is at 6. Solid 6. I hate 6s. 6s scream push to me. Are you picking a side? You picking a total? What are you doing here?
I purposely put this game in here because we were going to make the transition from contender New York Rangers to New York Rangers puck line. This was an easy decision for me. I looked at this game and I dived deeper into it, and I'm like, the Rangers are 100% the side in this game. They're at home. They're 5-1-1 at home this year. They are playing good hockey, and they're playing a team that is not. The Philadelphia Flyers have been getting their ass kicked lately. 5-2 loss versus New Jersey, 6-3 loss versus Carolina, 2-1 loss against Florida in overtime that they got dominated. 4-0 loss.
6-game losing streak.
Yeah, the 4-0 loss to Tampa Bay, 5-2 loss to Boston. Yeah, this New York Rangers team is going to have their way with this Philadelphia Flyers team. I cashed on a puck line against Philadelphia with New Jersey the other night. And we look at New York, the Rangers, they've won 7 of 8. This is a hot team, and I'm looking to back them here. They are coming off a 5-2 win versus Boston, a very impressive win. They beat the Bridgeport Islanders 4-1. They took care of business against Buffalo, even though they scored with 0.4 seconds left in that game, winning that game. So 3 straight wins heading into this one. I think they take care of business in this game by margin. Puck line, Rangers around plus 135.
Fair enough. I get behind that. I can get behind that. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. I'd probably take the over here, even though I hate 6s. And all you really need for this game to go over is 1 to 2 goals from the Flyers.
Yeah,
because the Rangers are going to get
the Rangers are going to give you 4.
Yeah, exactly. The Rangers are going to give you 4. So hopefully there's that. I don't really have any live bets. I've been kind of looking through here while you were going through some contender pretender stuff. Capitals and the Panthers are now 4-3 with about 13 minutes left in the third.
Blues scored twice. That's 3-2 now.
Yeah, 3-2 with halfway into the second. So that game's not done with your St. Louis pick there. Wild are up 2-1.
Yeah, they just scored.
Yep, I need that. I need that personally. That's one of my handicap tan picks. Sharks 4-2. So the Devils trying to make a little comeback here.
Still 4 minutes left in the third, so I've marked out a loser and I've moved on that one.
Red Wings are tied with the Bruins 1-1. I'm on the Wings plus on the puck line plus a goal and a half. So
that's where I would have been if I bet it.
Closer this game gets to 0, the more I like Boston. Or actually, I might throw a little bit on the Wings money line, but we'll see how that goes.
I almost bet the Wings.
Oh, they just scored! Red Wings 2-1. Live reaction. The Red Wings, as I was saying, I should have jumped on it when I had a chance. Red Wings up 2-1. Live reaction. Assuming this goal stands, which it should. This was pretty. It was pretty. It was wide open net. All right, guys. That's going to do it for Net Picks and Chill, though. We appreciate you guys stopping by. Kraken Red Wings draw tomorrow. That's my draw. Look for
Kraken are playing the Red Wings?
Yeah, in Detroit. Back-to-back for the Wings.
Take a quick look at tomorrow's slate because there's only 4 lines up currently. They don't have Vegas and Anaheim's the other game. I have looks on a couple games already. I beat a line movement with the Penguins, and I have the Senators at home at plus money tomorrow as well.
What about the Avs and the Toronto Maple Leafs? Toronto's slight favorite, minus 130. Kind of heavy, not heavy favorite, but favorite. I don't know about the Avs on the road. I'd have to look at that, but Vancouver's Senators, that's just a terrible game.
At that price,
I kind of lean Penguins, too, against Edmonton.
I'm on Penguins already. I got them plus 127.
Me and Sean Higgs did a total chaos on NHL, and we both liked the Penguins on the money line tomorrow.
Yeah. But, with that Toronto team, it's tough to fade the Maple Leafs right now. But if I had to go to a side, it's the Avalanche. That's the only one I haven't bet. And I don't think I'm going to bet it. I had that game around to pick them, so plus 110 looks pretty nice with Colorado. That's the only way I would look at that game.
Fair enough. Red Wings, a way better team at home. So, and the Kraken, I probably... Yeah, I'd have to see where that line comes out, though. But I'd like the Kraken. That's not a draw bet, Tim Earl. Stop. Get out of here. Stick to NBA, Tim. All right, that's going to do it, though, for us, though. I am Detroit Lenny. That is Nick Earl. We are Net Picks and Chill. We appreciate you guys stopping by. If you have not already, hit the like button on your way out. If you didn't hit it on your way in, we will see you next Tuesday. Every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 o'clock Pacific. We will be here talking just NHL. We'll see if we still continue with these Contenders, Pretenders. Maybe we'll have a little trend action going for you. We got all kinds of stuff on Tuesdays, so we'll see you guys next week. Good luck, everybody, unless you're against us.